Well, here we are today. I don't remember all Jerry's lingo in front of this thing, but he's not here. So Brandi and I are playing this our way today. We're opening it to questions if anybody has one. We've already had a few come in, which I think is great. And we're just going to have a whatever day. If you've got a question, whatever you want to talk about, shoot it in here. I think she and I can talk about a little bit about anything.
This is like my favorite day. I love this whatever day. Like I feel like every Friday should be whatever Friday. I think Jerry usually says something like, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching us from. Did I do okay?
Yeah. Well, we just about missed the start time. So whatever time we got started today, we're glad to have you. But okay, Brandi, you got a question come in. You want to fend it? One that came in, and we'll start with that.
Yeah. So one of the questions that came in was from Sean Kramer in California, and he asked about delegating based upon personality styles, which I thought was interesting because prior to the show, I looked up my personality, and it actually says I can delegate too much. So I am a DI. And I would agree with that because if I could delegate everything in my life, I would. It's why I love having a personal assistant to go get the oil changed in the car. I love having a housekeeper. I would love to have a chef. That's my ideal. One day when I make it rich, I'm going to have a chef. I would delegate everything I could. And I would just sit around and read books all day and watch Netflix.
Well, I'm not that big of a reader, and Netflix is a night type thing. I mean, I enjoy what I do of a day. But my thing is where delegation takes over is delegating stuff I start, being an even higher D than you are and a higher I. Yeah, I delegate a lot of things too, but I have to. You do too. We've got a lot on our plate. And to respond to Sean's questions, a D, it would not work delegating to D. I could see me delegating something to you because then you would delegate it to somebody else. So yeah, delegating as being the delegator to a delegatee, yes, there definitely is, and people need to realize the S and C's. You can delegate to them; they'll get it done. You and I pass it off.
Oh yeah, my C she has this notebook and she writes down, she plans her day the day before with all the tasks she needs to get done the next day, and she adds to it, and it's very neatly written and very neatly paged so she can go back and look. Mine's just a scribbled mess.
Oh, I remember when I was doing the disc when I first started and you had to write stuff down. You've never seen my note taking system. It doesn't look real well, okay? And I had taken notes and I had written across the paper and I ran out of paper, so I started around the margins and then I actually wrote around to the back and did the same thing. And she came into my office now, and I'm talking to a person and talking about disc, and those are just my crib notes, just in case I forget something like I've never done that before. And after I got off, she looked at me. She said, "What is that?" I said, "That's my note." She said, "You weren't teaching off that, were you?" Said, "Well, yeah." Said, "Give it to me." And she yanked it out from me, and she goes, and about 15 minutes later, she comes back with this really thing, bullet pointed, highlighted.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm thinking, well, I could have done that, but I wouldn't have. So
I'm going to be mind mapping this afternoon. Are you going to HBPA?
Yes.
Okay. So I was not going to go because it's so close to NCSG, and everybody knows Brandi does not like to travel. However, I was asked to speak Fire Time, Tim Reed, and his partner in the business are having they're calling it a TED. It's like a TED Talk, but it's like Fire Time EX at a theater Saturday night. So you'll have to come. You do have to register though, because tickets they think will sell out, and the theater only seats, I think, 500. Anyway, I was asked to speak there, which speaking's a lot different than teaching. Like teaching, I can get up there and do, but to have to get up on a stage in front of a theater of people and actually have all my thoughts together is different. And so my mind's been thinking about what I'm going to talk about the past week since he asked me, and I've just got to mind map it out because my mind's all over the place. So I'm going to put it in a mind map and try to make some sense of it and put it together. So I've got this book that I bought years ago, but now it's coming in handy. That's Talk Like Ted, for people that are going to give TED Talks.
Well, we need to be really important and have a monitor that we can look at.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to have one of those or not. I'm going in the middle. I know Grant's going first, and then it'll be me, and then it'll be Tim. So
good. Well, we just got a comment here. If I don't hit the right one, it was. And again, I am not professed at this, but anyone that's watching, if we mess up, just deal with it. He said, I have a planner and a journal, and I have used every day early in the morning for years. A good book is Miracle Morning by Hal Edinburgh. And a lot of times, yeah, you have to do that. And he also put on here, you will do good. Brandi, Matt, and Tim Reed are good people. They are. So, they'll help you along. And you're good. Don't drop that confidence on me. You'll have But yeah, back to Sean's question though. Yes, you can delegate, but make sure you're delegating to someone that can do the project that's not going to I don't want to use the word feel offended, but that's just not going to be capable of it. They can do it, but someone in a different area can do it much faster. And a lot of delegators that are high S and C's have a really hard time delegating to, because they, number one, they want it perfect, and number two, they much rather do it themselves. So a lot of times it's harder for a high S and C to delegate to someone.
I can actually see that, because I had an office manager who was a high S, and that was one of the things that we really had to work on, was her delegating and not taking on everything. So I can actually definitely see that. And Richard, I am going to look up that book, Miracle Morning. I love books. Right now I'm currently reading Surrounded by Idiots. Sheryl, have you read this one? Do you have it? Oh my gosh. So the title is honestly what made me buy it, because I was like, that just sounds perfect, because I always want to take everybody to the train station. If you ever watch Yellowstone, you know what that means.
Before you did.
Yeah, I just want to take everybody to the train station. But it's actually about the disc, and it's all about people's personalities in the disc. And so, Sheryl, I have to know, how on earth did you get Jeremy Biswell to take the disc? Because I have begged him to take it for years and years, and he would not take it.
How? I don't know, other than just letting him know that it was more than, it does not stamp you. It just lets you understand yourself. And it's the thing about it is also Jeremy's on a learning path for himself. So it gave him, I think, a lot of insights. I hope it did.
It did. He's ready. He said he's scheduling like monthly therapy sessions with you, and he just couldn't believe how much you can read into it. I told him you're almost like a witch. You're very intuitive. But so he turns out he's a high I, 99, which Madison in my office is also a high I, 99. They also, both of their love languages are physical touch. So you can imagine this office is just with two high I's. It's just, it's lively at all times of the day. My C sits next door to me, and I think she just has to shut her door sometimes, because she just can't take it anymore. She can't people anymore. My assistant is an S, which I need that, because I need somebody who's really steady to balance me out. Because I am kind of all over the place with my D and I.
Well, the thing about it is, we are what we are. Our core is what it is, and we can balance it out a little bit with other things. But there's just things we're not good at.
Yeah.
I'm, being a high D, you don't think we have anything we're not good at, but we But the thing about it is our decisions. For me, I make decisions way too quick. I have not been really smart. I've been really lucky in my decisions, because with the speed that I make them, I could have made some really bad ones. Yeah. So, we bought our house in less than 20 minutes after we saw it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Was it the first one you looked at, or had you looked at a bunch?
It was actually one that our realtor told us, said, you'll never want that one. It's like, I want to go see it. So no, we hadn't looked at a bunch. We aren't a bunch looker. We just we needed a house this size, which is way too big now because years have passed. Because we were taking care of his parents. I mean, we had parents living with us for off and on for about 18 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So we needed more rooms, and so it works for us.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like, what are you doing at all? But I'm not ready to. It's not that I'm not ready to downsize. I'm not ready to move.
Yeah.
Okay?
I remember we bought ours 18 years ago, and I remember I looked at probably over 50, and Jeremy was busy. He was in the thick of the business. I think he had one employee at the time. And so he couldn't take off during the day to go look at houses. So on my days off from the hospital, I had a 6-month-old baby I would carry around, and we would go with the realtor and look at all these houses. And some of them we would just pull in the driveway, and I was like, nope, pull out. Some of them we'd just walk in the front door, and I was like, nope, let's leave. And I just couldn't, I was like, we're never going to find a house. But then when we found it, I literally laid on the floor and I'm like, this is it. I think the biggest thing was it had a separate entrance through the back. It's like a tri-level on that level with an office. And so I thought Jeremy can have the office down there. The employees can come in through the back door. This is when we were still running out of our house, and they never have to come upstairs and see me, because before at our house that we were living in prior, I'd be sitting there nursing Noah in the morning and they're walking past me just like, okay, hi. So I think that's what really attracted me to it. And it's been a wonderful house for 18 years, but once Haley goes to college, we're going to move upstairs here in the loft and downsize because we just don't like house maintenance, and it's just too big for us, and we're just not house people.
Yeah. Well, we were limited because we needed the extra room.
Yes,
So
sure.
In our area, we didn't want to be in town. And at that time, Charlotte had not grown up, didn't really want to be in Charlotte. And in the area we wanted to be in, there were not that many large houses.
Oh, yeah.
And so we were limited, and we got this one at a good deal because the guy wanted out of it. So it was, or had gotten out of it. So timing, it made it real easy. I mean, I walked in and the only thing I said is, wallpaper's got to go. And that was the end of it. So
I ended up taking power of attorney for Jeremy and closing on the house. He just couldn't, there was no way he could get off. It was December 1st that we had bought it. So, busy, crazy season. So I took power of attorney and signed all the paperwork and bought the house. And I think he saw it like driving by at night one night, and that was it. He's like, fine, if that's the one you want. Do you have your dogs there? Are they by you?
Yes, down here.
Oh, can we see one?
Abby. Abby, come here.
I want to see what Abby's wearing today.
Come on, baby. No. This is going to start.
Oh my gosh. Hi, Abby.
Looky there.
Your bows, your hair bows even match your sweater. That is awesome. Oh my gosh.
He said, screw this. I got to go back to sleep.
Now, does she get on her pajamas then tonight?
No. Those they're thin. She just wears them. She likes them. This she loves to be dressed. I think she is my little I personality. Now I have a D personality laying down theirs. Jerry gets on me for using the disc on animals, but I mean they're creatures. They
are.
But I think people need to realize when they're hiring, especially, they need to look at disc. When you're onboarding, yourself, when you're onboarding, you need to know somebody's disc so you know how to speak with them.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I feel like a C as a technician, and this, I know I am not a disc expert. I always tell everybody, you're the expert. This is just like what little things in my mind that I make up. I feel like a C as a technician could almost go too slow and take too long at jobs and overthink things because they're trying to get everything perfect.
Unless they're a gas tech.
Then you probably need them for that, which I think we all need more gas techs. I have a guy shadowing today, and then I have 3 interviews this afternoon. One I'm really excited about. She would actually move here from Florida. It is a woman, and she's been doing electrical work. So who knows? We'll see where it goes. But I don't know how your hiring's going. I posted an ad on Monday, and I've had more applications this week than I had like all of last year in the entire year. It's
It's
just crazy.
it's been crazy, but look at the economy. People
Yeah.
are laying people off. Um, and the ones that I'm getting that still have jobs, a lot of them that I've interviewed have been afraid that they were getting ready to clean house because the employers are trying to cut their bottom line a little bit. And so they're letting people go. I'm finding experienced people that, I mean, 6 months ago, you couldn't have bought an experienced
Oh
person.
no.
So yeah, it's been crazy. And so I spend a lot of time interviewing, but still it's not as good as it was before, say before the pandemic hit, but it's better than it's been in the last year and a half for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've even had everybody showing up for interviews this week. That's always a plus too, and showing up on time. And we're not in a hurry to hire, but we like to hire this time of year and get everybody trained up for the fall. But there's a lot of companies around Kansas City, and even on the news, you keep hearing of major corporations laying off right now. So I think I think we're going to see more and more of that. And like you said, yeah, I mean, last year people were leaving their jobs and going to other jobs for like a $45,000, $50,000 raise in their salary. And now some of those people are getting laid off, which is pretty scary.
I'm seeing top people, the leaders are coming out. They've trained, they've got people moved up high enough in there and they're scaling. Usually normally you will scale from the bottom up, and a lot of them now are scaling from the top down. So a lot of paralegals have been unreal. I've seen them come in when I've had a CSR position open.
Okay, yeah.
A lot of paralegals. Actually had one lawyer looking. I mean, they've got all this medical people.
Always medical. I've always had medical. Yeah.
So it's different, and we knew it would change. And everybody's so afraid of the economy. I've got a few that they're afraid to lose their job because they don't know where the economy's going. But there's a lot more to pick from right now, it's great. I feel sorry for some of these people because you can't place them all. They're
No,
not
I do
qualified
too.
enough.
I do too. I've had a lot of younger ones again applying, out of high school, not very long. I had one kid that I interviewed. I did a phone interview always first this week and really, really liked him. He had put on his resume that he was graduating early this month. And I thought, oh, I don't know if he's over 18. So I said, I have to ask you, are you 18 or over? Because you can't ask their age directly. And he said, no, I'm 17. I said, rats. I said, when will you turn 18? He said, March. I said, please, please, please call me back in March because I really, really liked him.
Mhm.
But, just in our industry, unfortunately, I could put him here in the shop and start him, I guess, and then just not put him out in the field till March. But I'll just let him call back in March.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you and I are interviewing a gentleman on Tuesday for an office manager, and he's still in service. He's
Yes.
out of service until May. That's how people are looking for good quality people. They're going to allow him to work part time. The Army is, and until May, until he's totally out. But there's, I sent you the email that he sent. Very, he got me right off
Yeah,
that.
same.
So
What's interesting is that company, that'll be their second male office manager if he's hired. So I always find that interesting as well. I think I really like to have like more males in the office side to kind of balance out all of us crazy females.
I'm actually seeing more and more males.
Yeah.
Come more and more applying now. I mean, one reason there wasn't any before is none didn't apply.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to see quite a few male gentlemen apply. And to me, it works great in an office situation because number one, you've got somebody, it sounds terrible, it sounds like you're using them. If you've got heavy materials that need to be lifting, or just the pure safety factor of having a male in there.
Yeah. We keep our door locked here. We just always have. We have a showroom, but it's by appointment only, and then our vendors come, obviously. But other than that, I just think it's just a nice safety, and then that way somebody has to knock, and we can kind of vet them before we open the door. I've just always liked that, especially that goes back to when I used to be in the office by myself, 10 years ago, and it was just me there. And I remember one time the technicians left and forgot to lock the door. I forgot to check, and somebody did walk in. I was really afraid. I was pretending to yell to somebody in the back. Just pretending like somebody was there because this guy was making me kind of nervous. And so it's not worth risking your safety.
I try not to let anybody work by themselves. I mean, a lot of times Lori's in the office part by herself, but the guys are in the manufacturing.
Yes.
But I used to stay after hours. I do what I say, not what I do. I used to stay after hours, but it really bothers me if she wants to stay a little bit. So
yes,
we try not to do that. But nowadays, I don't know if a lock would stop something if somebody wanted in.
True. That's true. I come in sometimes like really early in the morning, like at 5 o'clock in the morning if I'm getting really behind, but I always have the 2 dogs with me, and I arm the alarm to stay that I'm in the building. So yeah. And the dogs are upstairs today. They're up there crying. They want to be down here, but I've got too many interviews coming in, and it's just not friendly when the German Shepherd's running to the door ready to attack you. It doesn't create a welcoming environment to work in.
All mine would do is be lick them to death.
Well, the other one just lays on her dog bed out there in the lobby and just literally lays there and may open her eyes to look at him. But she's 14, so.
I mean, I know this is more of a business side thing, but there's a personal side that goes along with business too.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think that's where you and I decided to take it more today, was into the personal side of where people realize that the business is the person.
Yeah.
And without that personal side, and you have more people that you have to, I don't like the word be nice to, but you have in your office that you really have to show them a lot of different things, more than what I do in the manufacturing plant.
Yeah.
Because I'm not out there all the time. But we've got a good crew, and thank goodness they're doing well. We'll see where it goes. We're getting ready our season's just now. Yours is ending and mine's beginning.
Yes. I have a client that theirs is just beginning. Theirs is opposite of ours. So things are getting ready to ramp up with them again. So I feel like I never have an off season.
I understand more than you can imagine. And then, I'm working in this business with Jerry, just as you are.
I don't know how you do it all. I really don't.
If you saw my desk, you'd understand. I don't.
That's how I feel about my to-do list. It's never quite gets completely done.
Well, a high D, we're just going to throw this out there. A high D's on their to-do list, everything is the most important.
Yes, that's true.
That's the bad part. I can watch my S and C's look at something and say, okay, I need to do this because it's the most important, and this, and then this. And I'm thinking, are you sure? Maybe this is more important. And I lean toward them because they have that organizational skill that I don't. Now, I'm kind of OCD about my house, but as far as my desk, different program.
I feel like if I'm coaching someone else on how to prioritize, I can do it. But if it's myself, forget it. So yesterday, that was one of my calls, one of the CSRs that I meet with every other week. And she was just feeling really overwhelmed. They're a little short-staffed right now. She had a huge to-do list. And I said, well, what are the priorities? And she said, everything's the priority. And I said, no. Let's list them out and let's actually pick the priorities. So I feel like I can do that with other people. But when it comes to myself, and I think part of that just with Heidi, like, I just want everything done. I want everything to be complete. And it never is, but I definitely want it that way.
Maybe we should have named this Do As I Say.
Yes. Oh, I say it all the time. When I would teach new nurses, I would always say, do as I say and show you, not as I do. And I tell the girls that all the time too, because they'll be booking a repair and I'll be like, okay, what does the SOP say? And then I'm in here like winging it, which is not setting a good example. And I tell them when I mess up, I'm like, I should have followed the SOP. That is my own fault.
Well, if I was any different, I would just be really upset with you. But
So
yeah,
are you doing anything fun this weekend? When is Jerry coming home?
he'll be home late tomorrow evening. He's going to a meeting for the chimney service, and so they're doing some training and getting some stuff done. So he is there doing Jerry things. I just saw him hit a like here, so I know he's watching us. So maybe we'll get reprimanded after this is over.
No, this is whatever Friday. It's the Brandi and Sheryl show. We have free reign. He's coming here in March, and Jeremy is already. Now that you told me he's watching, I have to be careful what I say because Jeremy's already planning all of his little schemes to play on him and all of his little jokes.
I think y'all have a good time with him, Holly.
We do. I'm excited for him to stay and teach up in the loft because the last time he was here, that space was like lead paint down to the studs. And it was just an awful teaching environment. And so I'm really excited for him to see that space because he hasn't gotten to see that. I don't know if he'll be here on a Friday or not. If he is, we might have to take an hour out and him and I can do this like in my office or something.
Well, I mean, the loft is unreal. And for the people that's watching,
Sorry.
if you haven't
I'll call back
seen, they're saying if you haven't seen pictures of the loft that Brandi teaches out of, she's going to be doing classes up there. Give us a little tidbits on your classes here.
Let's see. So I've already done the office management one a couple weeks ago. Actually, that is a client calling that was in the office management class. And she's phenomenal. I just can't say enough about her. So that class it's really for office managers. We can't have the same discussions in there that we have with CSRs. So I have to really be careful when people are enrolling to make sure that they're vetted because we're going over a lot of HR stuff in there. We're going over DOL, FLSA, ADA, just all those HR things that people have to know because there's so much bad information out there. It's just crazy the information that I hear people spewing out there that's inaccurate. And it's just because people don't even realize a lot of the laws are different from state to state. Then you've got your federal laws. Things are just so different. But then we're also going in that one, how to coach your employees and how to do progressive discipline. And so it's a 2-day class. And they're exhausted by the time they leave. I'm exhausted. And then coming up in 2 weeks is the CSR Basics 101. I taught that for the first time last March at the expo. And so now we have, I think, a full class coming in for that for 2 days. So that'll be exciting to have all those people here. I'm a little bit nervous. So anybody watching this that watches football, I do not watch football, but the Chiefs made it to the Super Bowl. And so if they win, there will be a parade here on Wednesday, the 15th. Which is when everybody is flying in for the class. And so the city kind of shuts down and hundreds of thousands of people kind of gather in the city. So I don't want to say I don't want them to win because that would not be Kansas City pride, but it would be easier if they didn't win. That's the selfish Brandi talking. So we already have a calendar up for all of our employees that want to take off that day and go to the parade. And I find it fun. In 2020 when they won, I worked that day in my office and our street was just completely back-to-back traffic and people were literally just jumping out of their cars and running the probably 5 miles it is to Union Station because they were going to miss the parade if they didn't get down there and the after party. It was just total chaos in the city, but I'm happy. It's exciting that they're going. And I didn't realize, I think I heard, do you watch football? Do you know anything about football? Oh, okay. I think I heard
from this end to that end.
I thought I heard Travis Kelce's brother is maybe on I don't even know the other team they're playing, to be honest with you, but whatever team it is, I thought I heard maybe his brother's on that team. And so they're going to be playing against each other. So I feel like that's a win for those parents. They're going to have a winner either way.
Well, I grew up with a bunch of boys in our neighborhood. So I learned to play football. So I know that much about football. And I guess I didn't go any farther in that because the only thing they would let me play in school was powder puff football. that didn't cut it. So I just didn't follow the football world.
Yeah, I'm not a sports person. In fact, I married Jeremy because he was not a sports fan. Now he became a UFC fan after we got married, which I don't think is fair. But he wasn't. I just couldn't spend my weekends watching football. Sorry to all you football lovers out there. I know most people are. It's just never been my thing.
I enjoy going to sports. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong. I enjoy being there. That's my personality. I enjoy being there, with the hot dog. Not
Yes.
the game. I rarely look at the game or anything.
Same.
I'm the people person. I know what everybody around me knows. So that's what I enjoy. And I think it's the same way, pulling it back to work a little bit. People need
Right.
to do what they enjoy. They need to do the part that they enjoy. If you have an employee that doesn't enjoy what they're doing, do you have something that will let them enjoy?
Right.
Could just be in their personality trait.
Well, and that's just it. That's why we wanted our employees to be able to have that day off and enjoy the parade if they wanted to. Because there's some companies that'll just say, no, you can't have off. We already have jobs scheduled. But we make it so that if they want off, they can have off. Because I think that's important for them to celebrate that and celebrate their pride and just to have that time away from work as well. This is the time of year I think we see, I don't know if you're seeing this as well, but I'm seeing with a lot of my clients where people are just burnt out this time of year because they've been through the busy season. Things are starting to slow down a little bit. But now they're just exhausted from everything that they've been through with the busy season. And so now I think is that time where it's really important to really focus on regenerating ourselves and taking care of ourselves. And there's a lot of sickness going around too. We've had a lot of people out sick here. And I asked a client at the end of last week, and they said they'd had 3 to 4 out every day for like the last 2 weeks. So that makes it hard.
It does. And both of us have conventions coming up.
Yes.
And, as much as I love going, I dread it. Number one, for the flights. Let's just deal with that. Flights are not good anymore. And then, but also, people are so afraid still of COVID, of a lot of things. And our industry that we're both going to and in, they're kind of the huggy kissy kind of group. They like that. Hi, how are you, with a big hug. And there's more restraint than there used to be. And I miss the old part. Probably never be that way again. But
I do worry. Like that's my biggest fear is getting sick when I have to speak. And so then, because I'm not at my best if I'm sick. So I don't ever want to have to speak being sick or have to cancel because I'm sick. That is like a huge fear of mine. So I usually like start taking a bunch of extra vitamin C like a week before I have to travel because I'm just such a nervous Nelly about it.
well, we both take vitamins, so that's one good thing. We're there before we start. But yeah, I do the same thing, and it is hard. I have done it one time, and it was not, when I was sick, and it just, even if you do good, you don't feel like you do, and so it just makes it hard.
Yeah. You were on the planning meeting this week with me for the NCSG CSR 360. So that's like super exciting. I don't think a lot of people realize yet what that is, but at convention, there's going to be an entire track of classes, 6 different classes and a panel discussion. I guess, sorry, 8 different classes and a panel discussion just for CSRs. And that is just so exciting to me. That was really Tom Hunkel's vision as president. Like he gets all the credit for that idea. But I am so excited for it because I think for so long, the CSRs in the offices have been overlooked and the technicians all go to convention and go away and they're still there answering phones and they don't get the education and especially the industry specific education. So I am super, super excited for that.
The world's changing. I mean, we're taking every position in jobs now as important, as in the importance of training, the importance of community. And you didn't used to do that. The secretary sat in there and she secretaried, for lack of a word. And that was all she was taught to do. And most of her training was just about exactly what she was doing. And I think you have you got all your girls certified now?
With the CCP, but not the new CCP.
Okay.
And then Cheyenne has her CDET and she had her CSIA. I'm not sure if we've kept it up with her or not. I know I'm letting mine lapse. I'm really focusing, since we use Service Titan now, on all of them having their STCA, which is Service Titan Certified Administrator.
Mhm.
So I'm really pushing for that big time. Madison in my office was part of the beta for that, and it's just a wonderful program. And then Madison, Cheyenne, and I are traveling to Florida next September to go to Pantheon, which is Service Titan's big convention, which will ruin you on conventions if you ever go. I mean, the swag, the food, it's incredible. It's just, it ruins you on everything else. If I only could go to one convention a year, I would probably go to it just because it's so phenomenal.
After hearing you
So,
talk about it, I'd love to.
yeah, you guys need to try to make it someday because I think it's really good. I'm flying in for HBPA on Thursday because I thought if I flew in Friday and I have to speak Saturday night, with the way flights are, I could be in big trouble if flights get canceled. At least if I had to drive Thursday, if my flight was canceled, I could. So I don't know. I'll have to come see you guys at the booth because you guys will probably have a booth, won't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll have to come say hi.
Yeah, come work, whatever.
Yeah, I could come work. We'll see. I'm just not good a traveler. We forgot to mention probably the most important thing, which was Chucky's birthday. Was that yesterday?
It was yesterday.
Yeah, the Groundhog Day. I guess he saw his shadow. Is that right?
I think the only place he saw it was in Pugatuck, wherever.
Okay. I mean, I'm always excited for 6 more weeks of winter because it's good for our business. But I don't know. It's cold here. It was 11 degrees when I woke up this morning, which isn't as cold as it gets, but I am starting to look forward to warmer weather.
We're cold here too, but I mean, it is what it is, whether Chucky saw it or not. I mean, if that had took him here, he was drowning here yesterday.
Uh-oh.
That first son, I think we've seen this week. But yeah, he didn't see it here. So whatever.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, his birthday was there. I guess I should have been nice, maybe, and had
Made a cake or something.
good. But yeah, and just for people that don't know, Chucky is a groundhog and the mascot, for lack of a better word. And he represents doing things over and over and over again, the movie. And that happens in business. Brandi, you and I work with that every day.
Yes.
So
Over and over again. And people know what they need to do, but they don't. They just keep repeating. I mean, I'm guilty of it too in areas of my life as well. The last time Jerry came here to speak, one of Jeremy's tricks was he tied our Chucky, our big stuffed Chucky, to the drone. And so Jerry was up on the second floor teaching, and then he flew Chucky. He kept flying him back and forth across the window.
and if anybody's interested, Jeremy's a 99I.
That's what I was just going to say. So now at least I understand it now. Like that's what I love about it is now I understand it. And I don't think the disc it's not an excuse for our behavior. Like it's more of like, okay, where can we improve or where can we help others understand us? Because everybody, no matter what letter you are, some of your traits are annoying to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so how can we help improve ourselves with those, not make an excuse for them?
The main thing I work with people on after they get their disc is their communication skills.
Yeah.
Because the disc narrows out how you want to be spoken to and how my form of speaking doesn't work with everybody. I have to alter it. And what people don't realize, they assume a conversation is from the people speaking it, but it's not. It's how another person accepts what they say.
Yes.
And if I talk at my normal speed, we would have done with this a long time ago. So talking to a lot of different people, I have to slow my voice down, or either they actually, like you're picking apples, they have to skip over some to be able to get the knowledge. So people need to think about not what they're saying so much as what other people are hearing.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. Yeah, because I want everything to be as short as possible. And some of my
than I've ever talked.
My husband just want to drag it out forever.
I wish I was comfortable dragging it more. I really do, because I look at the high S's and I look at them. They can go home. They can put their feet up on the couch. They can sit there and enjoy the evening without just I have to turn the TV on to get my mind off something else.
I color every night. I do adult coloring books, mindfulness coloring books, because it's the only way I can shut my brain down. Because yeah, otherwise, I think the reason that I cut everything so short is because my brain is always thinking 20 steps ahead of what I've got to do. Like, okay, I've got to get this done. I got to get this done. I got to get this done. I got to quit talking to this person so I can get this done. But coloring for me, actually, it helps shut my mind down because I have to concentrate on staying in the lines and what color I'm going to use. It's very soothing and stress relieving for me.
I think that's why I look at so many like Criminal Mind things.
Yes, I do too.
That's I mean, I can probably kill 3 or 4 people and get by with it because I've watched how much they do it. But I think it's also because I can get my mind. I can't just watch it for the movie. I have to watch it and try to figure out who did it, the who did it kind of girl. But it gives me something besides work to look at. And so, yeah, it relaxes my mind.
Yes. I have a friend who's a neurologist, and I know we got to wrap up here soon, but and we go to the gym together, and she just lent me a weighted blanket. Have you ever used a weighted blanket?
No, but I hear they're great.
So this is from a company called Blankwell, and it also has a cooling mechanism in it, which I like because I get very hot at night. And I think this one's 20 pounds, 15 or 20 pounds. But I wake up a lot during the night, and then my mind starts racing and I have trouble getting back to sleep. And that is something that a weighted blanket is supposed to really help with. So I've been sleeping with it for 3 nights now, and I'm going to give it some more time and see. So far, so good. And I toss and turn all night, so I was a little leery about having all this weight on me. But the neuroscience is there to back it up, and she's a neurologist, so I'm going to take her word for it and try it out.
Hey, I watched Titanic 2 last night.
Mm-hmm.
My personal assistants brought the name up, and I thought, okay, let's see what it's about. I couldn't enjoy the show because the acting was unreal bad. I mean, bad compared to the regular Titanic. And so I actually sit there and watch 2 episodes of NCSI after I watched Titanic 2, just to quit running over in my mind.
What?
They could have done this if they would have done that. If I were running that, they would have done it this way. And so, yeah, even TV gets me off on.
I didn't even know there was a Titanic 2.
It came out in 2010.
Now, my daughter loves the Titanic. She's 16. They'll watch that at sleepovers. And so she did tell me last night, and maybe this is why Titanic came up for you guys, is they're bringing it back into theaters on Valentine's Day.
Really?
I don't care for it, but.
Well, Titanic 2 is different players, different problems, but the iceberg breaks the ship and kind of the same. They rebuilt the Titanic.
Okay.
And a lot of things happened the same and a lot of things didn't. But whoever did the choreography and did the actual filming of it, the boat, looks like a plastic boat just running across the film. And I hate to say that on here, but it was not it had a good background.
Yeah.
It was not done near as well as the regular Titanic. But that also goes back to the producer. Just like the creator. It depends who does what, where, when, how it comes out.
It's true. It's true. Well, I hope Jerry enjoyed listening to our Whatever Friday. We should do this again soon.
Take it away from him one day. Any last words you want to say, Brandi?
I don't think so. I hope everybody has a good weekend, and it is now February, so we'll probably be seeing a lot of our friends out there at HBPA and NCSG coming up real soon.
We just want to thank everybody that's showed in. I've had quite a few come across that have been here, and let them know that we appreciate you watching us. I'm sure you get a lot more business sense out of other days when Jerry's here with us. But I think Brandi and I both enjoyed doing this. It gives it a personal side to the business side that Jerry so hard puts the work into. So to him, we apologize if it didn't go right. And to y'all, there's a delete button if you don't like it.
I like it.
All right. Y'all have a great day.